transformation of the narrator from girlhood into womanhood is a pivotal plot point in The Bloody Chamber, specifically in regard to her sexual awakening. Her sexual development is documented through the mirrors in her bedroom, which represent the male gaze. She's compartmentalized into her role and initially seems powerless in her objectification. The lilies also decorate her bedroom as a motif for her character. They represent her initial purity due to the white color, but are also associated with death. This presents how through sexual transformation the patriarchy will discard her as used and sinful, later seen with the Marquis's dead wives. Carter argues that to be passive in this change of how society views her is to be complicit in her own death, exemplified by the depictions of his dead wives eternalized in a state of smiling. Similarities can be drawn to Dracula, with the character of Lucy who embodies the New Woman movement through her transgressions. She dominates over the men with her sexuality, but then transforms to a timid and submissive character. In death, she's described as more beautiful than ever, to present how the patriarchy romanticized her return to sexual purity. They restored their masculinity with her death as she completed the transformation. This is the direct opposite of The Bloody Chamber, which shows the narrator gaining confidence and strength as an ode to the evolved values of Gothic literature from second-wave feminism.
In The Snow Child, one example of the theme of transformation is the melting away of the Snow Child after she is assaulted by the Count. I believe this transformation emphasizes the concept of the male transitory desire in order for Carter to oppose and to challenge men treating women like objects and like wishes which come and go. Therefore, the Snow Child is transformed by sexual violence. She melts away, perhaps as a form of protecting herself or as a continuation of her passivity we see in the story. One concept the melting of the girl emphasizes is that this may be an action to protect herself from the male gaze. In the story, the effect of the male gaze on women is conveyed through the Countess and her hatred towards the girl. Therefore, her melting away allows her to escape this. She becomes more than just an object of the Count's desire. This transformation could also be viewed as a transgression into womanhood, an idea which is prominent in the Gothic genre. In the Bloody Chamber story, the girl transforms completely after her horrifying sexual experiences. And similarly, in Dracula, Mina undergoes a drastic transformation after her assault by Dracula, yet in a different way. Perhaps Carter desired to convey that for each woman, a transformation will be different. We all have the power to change and escape the entrapments of society.
Perhaps the most evident reflections on this woven theme is from Carter's short story, The Courtship of Mr. Lion. Here, the reader explores the transformation of Mr. Lion from an absurd anthropomorphic animal into the logically unkempt man. By gaining his human appearance, he hasn't left his bestial counterpart, but rather the quote-unquote lion archetype that masculinity enforces, cold, calculated, and dominating. He's able to embrace his true self, not clear-cut and perfect, but with a broken nose and unkempt mane, emphasizing Carter's message of abandoning societal constraints for our own comfortability. The Tiger's Bride is perhaps Carter's wilder adaptation of the original fairy story Beauty and the Beast, and The Courtship of Mr. Lion. Here we explore the importance of women finding their own agency away from civilization, for their transformed, liberated selves being able to embark on their own quote-unquote genesis that serves their truest selves rather than that of the oppressive society. Our protagonist finds her own agency in transforming into her primitive tiger self, her truest form away from civilization, a materialist diamond earring into the raw essence of water. Her transformation into the other has found her embracing the natural world, taking the world for it, and with this, perhaps Carter's saying that no matter how terrifying her tiger is, it's now our ability to take use of it and reject the oppressive values that had once led it to be lost in a game of cards.
Transformation in The Lady in the House of Love is presented through the story's symbolism employed by Carter to deliver several moral messages to her audience, in particular women living under the late 1900s patriarchal society. One transformation which takes place within the story is the transformation of the quote-unquote caged lark when it goes from being trapped in the cage to gaining its freedom and spreading its wings. Carter may do this in order to act as a parallel for the vampire queen gaining her freedom from an everlasting death. However, the bird gaining its freedom may also act as a moral message from Carter in order to show women that freedom can be gained from an oppressive society. In contrast, transformations in Dracula seem to present a loss of freedom to its readers. Throughout the novel, we see Lucy change from a confident, outgoing woman not afraid to use her sexuality to a vampiric monster with a mouth smeared with crimson foam. Lucy's transformation from beloved to despised may be due to the time period in which Dracula was written, where the other, especially women, were scrutinized for falling outside the societal norms and expectations, often produced by the male gaze. In contrast to Carter, who encouraged the freedom of women, Stoker could portray Lucy's downfall in order to act as a societal message showing the dangers of the new woman, as we see Lucy turn into the Bloofer lady who kills children, showing a complete lack of maternal warmth, ultimately portraying Lucy as the antithesis of an acceptable Victorian woman.